Hi, everybody. I want to talk briefly about an update that I've made to ShredSheet. It has to do with intensity, but also with measuring fatigue as a result of that intensity. And so if you can see on my screen here, I've got a trend of percentage of one rep max, and it's just going from 1%, 2%, all the way to 100%. And a friend of mine told me when I early on was tracking, he said, hey, you should probably track your percentage of one rep max to gauge your intensity and just, what was the highest percentage of one rep max that you touched that, during that session. And so I did that, and that's actually built into ShredSheet as one of the trends. But what I wanted to do was have a number in here that represented fatigue and sort of applied a curve based on percentage of one rep max touched, so that it wasn't just linear. It kind of represented that, hey, as you get closer to one rep max, the slope gets steeper and steeper. So I went ahead and added that, and I used a log function. You don't have to worry about the math behind it, but this is basically what it looks like. And so it'll take the percentage of one rep max as an input, and the closer you get to 100% of your one rep max, the more extreme the curve gets. And so if you are interested in the math, it's a reversed inverted log function, and that's what's happening here. But if you're not, you don't have to worry about it, because it's just a value that you can use to sort of measure fatigue in a way that makes sense, that reflects that the closer you get to one rep max, the more fatigue you're going to get out of that. So let's say I'm over here and it's a bench day. I just had my bench press. I did 300 pounds for 2 reps at 3 sets total. 1 rep max plateau is my first 1 rep max over here, and let's say that that's 315 on the bench. And what you'll see over to the right is the fatigue fatigue value calculated here based on the percentage of 1 rep max, based on the formula here that's applied to it. So this is again the negative log. It's just some fancy Excel and some fancy math in there, but it will curve up, and the closer I get, the closer I get here. If I do like 310, you see that jump up drastically from 66% to 90%. So that number can be useful just in terms of getting a sense of what your fatigue is. One thing that I have done here is I've kind of measured my volume times fatigue. So like what you can do is you can multiply your fatigue coefficient by your total volume to get a sense of just how beat up are you getting overall. So this number no longer represents weight or this fatigue coefficient. It's just like just becomes a sort of index metric. So it'll help you measure, did I do just like, too many reps at too high of a weight? It's not perfect. This could be tweaked. I think one thing that I'm looking to do is get some guidance from actual coaches on some of the different values that go into this, who are open to like this open source approach to sharing just a tracking spreadsheet, something basic. But I feel like it's a decent thing to measure, and should apply to most lifts that have an intensity assigned to them through like a 1 rep max. So most of your compound lifts, your bench, your squat, etc., you can kind of use this metric. The other thing I've added is just a list of exercises that I've pulled here, and I've got a whole list of them, and that's actually loaded into the log. So if you come here and don't know exactly what your workout is called, you can kind of scroll through here and figure out what that is, and it's got a pretty extensive list here. You should be able to come here and select from this list of exercises. It will also let you type. So if you do dumbbell, you get a lot of different options here. If you said, hey, this is a bench press, well, which bench press? Is it a closed grip? Is it a closed grip dumbbell, decline, pause, etc.? Same thing for squats. So it's not just one squat; it's a bunch of different versions on the squat spectrum. So you should be able to pick what you're working on, have that in there, whether it's conditioning or what have you. You'd have like the ab wheel rollout over here. So yeah, there you go. So that's in the latest version of ShredSheet. So is the fatigue. I'll go ahead and call it the fatigue coefficient. And yeah, if you have any questions or if you need any help with this, you want to get it set up, let me know. If you're a trainer and you're looking to use this thing and you're interested in doing a pilot with some of your clients, totally happy to be some backup support for you too. So reach out. I'm here to help and go on and get after it.